Hello everybody. How about we work on this journal? I started off the other day and recorded and said that it's going to be a one signature journal, but I'm not sure. I haven't decided yet. I'm kind of liking it so far, so I may make it bigger, but we will see. Okay, so in the last video I had already folded all the papers up and got them ready, and I had already put this image on and I left it open in the back for a big pocket, and I said I wanted to make a vellum pocket because it's such a pretty print right there. I didn't want to cover it up, so I finally found my vellum. I'm telling you, my craft room is ridiculous. It is a mess, and I really need to take the time to organize and get it cleaned up and straightened out. But I haven't really got to do very much journaling or creating journals, crafting, whatever, in such a while since everything happened with my other mobile home. I couldn't help myself. I just had to jump in here and start doing it. And now I'm working in a mess. And I really need to clean it up. All of my fabric is still in boxes, and it's just ridiculous. But, you know, I guess we as humans are just impatient. And that's what I was, impatient. There we go. Let me put a little notch in here. Oh no, I knew it was going to happen. Oh no. So, when that happens, find yourself a piece of scrap something or another. Do you think I've got a scrap something or other on all this mess? No. So I'm going to get an index card. So when your punch doesn't want to work, number one, it needs to be sharpened. Put another piece of paper behind it. And it should be easy breezy, like butter. All right, again, I'm using the Victorian Velvet ink. Ugh. Looking at this right here. Yep, I think that'll be okay. Just wrinkled it a little bit. It didn't rip it to where it would be a problem once it became a pocket. I like the vellum because it's interesting, it's different, throws in a little different element into the mix, and when you've got pretty images such as this right here, you can still use it and make a pocket, make it, yeah, let's try that again, make it functional, and still see the image behind it. I'm going to use my art glitter glue. Just do a thin little line. Hopefully I can keep it straight. Okay. Now that will dry clear. Rub it in, make sure it gets a good hold there. And I know I'm shaking you around. There. Now we have a pocket, but we can still see the image. And of course, whoever gets this journal, once they put something in there, they won't see that image after the fact. But in the meantime, there it is. All right. And then I had already put a little pocket there. I did this stenciling in the last video. So I'm trying to decide. I set up a couple of little things to do, to make, not do, whatever. Let me get my vellum out of the way here. So I want to make a journaling card, but I think I'm going to make it one that flips out. So I have coffee dyed this one. As you can see, it is not bright white. You can see the difference there. Makes it look more vintage. So this is the side, well, you can't really tell which side has the lines because it kind of bled through, but I think this is the original side. We're going to leave it that way. And then I'm going to take this piece of scrapbook paper and put it on right here. So let's glue this down. Trying to get a little bit of crafty time in before I have to go to work. There's just something about starting your day off with first a cup of coffee and reading your Bible, and then being able to sit down and do a little bit of crafting. I don't know. Maybe it's just me, maybe it's not, but it sure does. I don't know. I guess maybe getting the creative juices flowing and using your brain just makes the day better. Who knows? Now, when you use the art glitter glue, it dries pretty quick, so I still got it lopsided a little bit, but that's okay. We'll trim it down. But when you use it, you better stick it quick and get it right the first time if you can. That's why I like this stuff, especially on tedious things that you don't want to slide around. This works pretty good because once you put it there, it is there. Okay. So I am going to trim this side. And this side. And let's see, where did I got off just a little bit right here. I don't want to cut it yet on the cutter just yet until this dries just a little bit more. Or we can just live on the wild side and see what happens. And I'm going to take just the tiniest little sliver of this off. Perfect. Okay. And I'm going to round the corners, but I don't think I want to round them with the biggest size because I don't know. I like these flowers on the bottom and I don't want to take too much of them off. And you guessed it, we are going to ink this up as well. I will probably come back and do some sewing on this. I had said in my last video that I didn't have a whole lot of stuff set up and ready, but I haven't done a video in about 2 years. Just so much has happened. I lost a grandbaby, lost my house, lost my nephew, just so much stuff kind of took over. And I just didn't sit down. I didn't really do very much crafting at all, period, much less make videos. But life goes on, and here we are. So, said all of that to say this. When I done my video the other day, I just sat down and done it. It was a very spur-of-the-moment thing, and I didn't have everything prepared and ready. And I didn't have my sewing machine set up with the proper thread. So I will have to get that set up, and then I think I will do some sewing around the edges. And I won't do any more to this, I don't think, because that is just so pretty. I may put some lace somewhere on here, but I don't know yet. But for now, we're going to leave that like that. And what I plan on doing with this, ouch, I got a new kitten. I left work Sunday and stopped at the grocery store, and across the parking lot ran the tiniest little kitten, and he was seriously, he wouldn't have lived for the rest of the day. It was so hot, and he was just panting and sweaty and breathing really hard, and he just, ugh. And I finally got him. One of the cashiers from the grocery store came out and helped me, and I brought him home. And he is underneath my table attacking my feet. And he is the cutest little booger. Here he is. He weighed 9 ounces when I found him. He's going to be a little butt. His name is Cheddar. Say hello, Cheddar. Oh, wait. He's just a tiny little guy. But he's underneath my table attacking my feet. He follows me everywhere I go when I'm at home. So if you hear me say ouch, that is the reason why. This little piece right here, I'm going to sidestep from this for a second. I want to ink these edges just to make it stand out against that bottom page that's underneath it a little bit more. I got glue on my hands. Oh, that paper's sticking to me. There we go. Supposed to rain today. I'm waiting. It's getting kind of dark outside, so I hope the light in here is halfway decent. I've got my overhead light on, but because of the cloudiness, I don't have a lot of natural light coming through. I have to well, I got a lot to do in this craft room. It is, ugh. If only you could see, you would understand. All right. There, that looks a little bit better because now you can kind of see the edges against that other page. So, my thought process on this is I want to rip this. And it does not have to be pretty, perfect, or anything. Like, I think the more ragged and jagged it is, the prettier it looks. So what I'm going to do is I am going to ink these edges on this. And this paper here is kind of a vintagey color too, but that's just the way it was when I got I go to the thrift stores and try to find these old used up notebooks and notepads and things like that. And I buy that, and that's what I use a lot in my journals. So that's what this is. So the paper, I didn't have to dye this paper at all, which was kind of nice. Save a little bit of time there. Okay. There we go. So stick that here. Ow, he's biting my foot. Ow, you little turkey. And then maybe getting some washi tape and taping that down, and then it would be a flip out of sorts. I'm not sure if I like that idea. Okay, let's set that to the side, and we'll come back and think about that one for a second. I will use this. It may be separate, but I will use both of these in this journal. That's the whole process. You get an idea, you start working on it, and then you change your mind, which is okay, because you just move along. All right, so here I have an envelope, just a plain white envelope. And I am going to cover this envelope because this also will be a little flip out. So I'm going to put this image right here on the front. And then this back part, or the top part of it, is going to go on the back side. And because this will be some kind of a flip. But how do I want to do this? I do know I'm going to trim this real quick and get this the same size. I save all of these scrap pieces. I have a video that I made a few years ago on using these up, especially to go in your journals for ephemera. You can go back and watch that, but I will probably go ahead and do a little bit of it in this series for this particular journal. All right, so what I'm trying to decide is, do I want to cut a notch here and make a pocket? Oh, decisions. Okay, decision made. If you think about this stuff too much, then you never get nothing done. But if you just go for it, and because even if you think you messed up, that's the beauty of junk journals, making junk journals. There are so many different ways and different things to do that even if you mess up, you can absolutely fix it and make it something beautiful. Perfect. Okay. Alrighty, let's ink this booger up. Whoops. I hope I'm staying in frame. I have to go to work, so I don't want to stand up too much and get my back hurting before I have to go to work, because that would make for a long day. Alrighty, so what I'm going to do is listen to me, glue around these three sides, because this is going to be a slide-in pocket right here. I need to put me a little X on the table where I know to keep my stuff over. That way I stay in frame. Always make sure you are facing the correct way before you glue it down. Because once you glue it, it's there. All right. So that's the front side. And I will, again, make a vellum pocket. No, I may leave it alone just like it is, because that's very pretty. And I don't want to put too much on this right here. Okay. So, the back side, I'm going to use, this was one whole sheet and I just trimmed it up. So I'm going to use the back side, the top part of that for the back side. How do I want to do this? Oh, this cat is tearing my foot up now. I named him Cheddar because he looks like cheddar cheese. He's super sweet, though. He really thinks I'm his mom. I guess I am, though. I rescued him and had to buy him little kitten replacement milk and all of that stuff. All right. So now, because I'm going to trim the top, so we're going to have a pocket right here. And I'm going to trim the top so it'll open up this envelope and we'll have a pocket this way. So on the back side, we don't want to glue nothing right here. All right, so I am going to line this up just so. I think I'm going to have to trim this. I don't think this is very even. Either this is not even or the envelope is not even. And it's this piece of paper. Okay. So we will Put it like so. Okay. I'm going to glue. Here, let me ink this so you can see what I'm talking about. So this is the opening of the envelope. Okay. So inside here, we do not want to glue. We want to leave this part open. So I'm going to glue all of this all the way around. Be very careful not to get it on that top part above the opening. But I will run one bead right here at the fold. Whoa, I'm getting sideways with it. Like so. Let me put my pen in here because this stuff, it really dries fast. And then I am gonna make sure I'm not too far over. So this will fold still. There we go. All right. We still in frame? Looks good, looks good. I need to find something to clean all this glue and ink off of my mat because it's terrible. All right, let's trim this up now. Oh, this cat is tearing my foot up. Ah, and I can get him little toys to play with, but I don't know. I guess maybe it's my scent that he's after. I'm not sure. But let me tell you, them little kitty cat teeth ain't no joke. All right. So I'm going to save this one. I'm going to save this one too. All right. So we have the front pocket here, and then this is the back side. And I am going to let this dry for just a second longer, otherwise it'll turn to mush. I'm going to get my cutter. I'm going to line it up, and I'm going to take just the tiniest little piece off the top. And if I did it right, I did not get enough. It will open the top up. And I don't want to take too much of that other flower off. Okay, there we go. So there's the top. So when I put it in a page, so let's say I have it here, and then they flip it open, they're going to have this pocket, and then I'm going to put another pocket right here. And I will do vellum again right here, I think, maybe. Maybe not, because we still have all this prettiness up on top. So that is going to be another little flip out for this journal. So there's that. So we've got these done. And let's make one more flip out. And then I need to get off of here and get ready for work. Okay, so I bought these little paper CD covers off of Amazon. And these are really cool. These come in so handy. They make the cutest little things, and they're different sizes. And you've got the window on the front. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find this right here, I think. I want that to shine and come through the window. Okay. So I just kind of put my finger like in the center of the window. and then look at the image that I want to come through. And that looks about as close as I'm going to get it. It doesn't have to be absolutely perfect. You know, it's not really meant to be perfect. Oops, I did not mean to do that. I'll get another one. Which is why you should use a pencil and not a pen. Because when you make a boo-boo, you can erase it. Although, I can cover that up. We're gonna, like I said, when you make a boo-boo, you just keep going because there are ways to fix it. No big deal. I'm going to save that little strip. Trying to make sure I've got this right on the line so it's going to be the size I need it to be. Now this piece right here I'm going to use to cover the back of that envelope. So that little CD case. Okie dokie, let's see how we did. I may have to trim it down just a little bit more for it to go in there. Oops, let me make sure we are in focus. Yep, let's trim it just a little bit more. There's something about that cutter that I have that doesn't quite line my pages up just right. So I never really get a straight cut. I bought that one from Hobby Lobby, which surprises me. But my first one I bought off of Amazon, and it was a really good one. But the other cat we rescued loved to come in my craft room as well, and jumped up on my table and knocked everything over and broke it. So I really need to order another one because it was a good one and it wasn't that much. Okay, so we're going to slide this baby right on in here. There. Oh, I love it. Now, the trick is to glue this puppy down before it dries and sticks to it all wonky and weird. So I'm going to use a little glue stick to get me started. And this is the reason why my mat looks horrendous. Is because I just glue right on top of it. But when I go to sew, I flip it over. The other side is beautiful. It's clean. Okay, let's get this opened up and ready. And whatever you do, make sure you don't have any glue on your hands because you don't want it to get on your window there. And we're gonna slide said image in there. Oh, now look at it, gonna stick and act crazy. No worries, we got it. Okay, now I'm gonna, that was just a little bit just to get it in there. Now before it dries completely, I'm going to ever so gently, well, that was kind of pointless, I guess. I'm gonna put some of my art glitter glue down in here. We want to make sure whatever we do, our image stays put. So now, just to let you know that I didn't get it all the way in there. I'm gonna have to trim that. Okay, so now see, it won't close all the way, so it's not a problem. I just gotta trim this little top just a little bit, and luckily, there we go. Because it's an inside image and it's not going to be used right here, and I'll show you that in just a minute. So that's not going to matter too much. Okay. I am going to take my Victorian Velvet and just kind of ink around. I'm not going to mess with this white part too much because I don't know. I haven't even tried actually to try to cut the circle out. But I'm going to go around and just kind of ink it all up the best I can. And just take a little bit of the white off of it. Nothing fancy. So where I had the ink pen, excuse me, I've got somewhere on my table, I've got these words. And I think what I will do, I can't see anything I'm doing, can you? I may get some lace and run some lace right here, because what I plan on doing is, this will be another flip out, so the back side is going to be covered as well, like so. Let's just do that right now and get that over with. Get that out of the way. You know, I don't know if anyone's watching, if they watch just to watch, if they're crafty and they want to make journals, whatever the case may be, but this is Art Glitter Glue off of Amazon. It's really good stuff. It dries super duper fast. But if you don't want to put a lot of money into supplies, trust me, I use Elmer's glue as well. It is on my table. It is here. It is right there for me to use. And it works just as good. The only thing is, it doesn't dry as fast. But you can move it around if you make a mistake. It doesn't dry so fast that you can't slide it over and get it positioned just the way you want it to. So anyway, you don't have to order all of this fancy stuff off of Amazon or go to Hobby Lobby and, you know, buy top dollar stuff. As a matter of fact, I watched someone on YouTube the other night, and I don't know how it showed up on my YouTube channel, but it did. It was recommended, I guess. I don't know. But it is an absolutely 100% true junk journal, and I made one and I love it. Alrighty, I'll show you all that later on, because that's going to be my personal journal. Okay, so we've got that done. So this is going to be a flip out, and it will have something behind it, a flip out, and there will be a pocket here of some sort, but I will either trim it right here and make it a slide-in pocket, or trim the top just like the other one and it'll slide that way. So that is what I've got for today. I'm going to go ahead and call it quits and go get ready for work. Y'all have a fabulous crafty day, and I will see you very, very soon, and we'll do some more work. Bye.